Yo, what's going on, internet? TBH here on behalf of GamingIlluminaughty.com, and we are finally back from E3 out in LA, where we got to hang out at the Ubisoft Lounge, and we got to go hands-on with a lot of different games of theirs for E3. And one of those games that we got to check out was Far Cry 5, the fifth iteration in this game.
Controversy.
Let me ask you first. Let me say, did you have any expectations for this game going into it before you played it?
Since I think the last two games were very sub-meh-ish, I would say. Though Primal was subpar, or was
that shit
meh.
That shit was ass. Don't even say
Damn.
subpar.
There
Far
you
Cry
go,
Primal
my
was
guy.
ass.
You heard
Oh,
it.
you know it's funny too. I told the developer, I was like, that shit was ass. I don't know why
Yeah,
y'all
you
made
did.
that, bro.
You did. I
Far-
remember you. I heard you. I overheard you say that. That shit had me crying.
I was like, the Far Cry 4 was like whatever. I didn't care about it. But I was like,
Yeah.
why did y'all make Primal? Like that's a stain on their
They had to do a yearly release.
But he was nice. The developer was Canadian, so he took it with stride.
Shout out to them.
Yeah, he was really cool. But yeah, Far Cry 5. This one takes place in Hope, Montana, which is a county inside of the state of Montana. I forgot the name of the guy, but a cultist leader takes over. Father, you said?
Yeah, father.
Father takes over the Hope County, and he creates this whole cult. And they're doing a bunch of crazy shit, and it's your job to actually go in and stop the cult and keep them from running over Montana. So this is the first thing that I like about the game. I asked him, I was like, who are we playing as in Far Cry 5? And he said, you're playing yourself.
Oh, yeah. That's fire.
Right, I was like,
character
bet.
customization.
So there's character
Yeah.
customization confirmed in the game. You can be whoever you want. And then I asked him, I said, one of my problems that I've always had with Far Cry, the Far Cry series, is, especially like in 3, you started off as a party kid. I don't know if you remember the beginning of the game. They were literally going on vacation to get drunk on some fucking island. And then they crashed the plane. The guy wakes up and he's a fucking Rambo badass shooting all these guns. And that was always my problem with the game. I was like, he was a whiny little bitch who was captured. How did he go from that to Rambo? And he was like, the developer was like, yeah, that's one of the things we did fuck up on with. There was really no context. So I asked him, I was like, all right. I was like, why am I a badass in Far Cry 5? I can play as myself. Is some type of context going to be given? He said, yeah, this time we thought about it. He said, I can't tell you too much, but your character will have a past working in the police department, so you will have weapons training, survival training, and this, that, and the third. I said, thank you. It's something little.
So I'm saying, thank you.
It's something little, but I appreciate the context, because like the other Far Cries just didn't make sense to me. But what'd you like and dislike about the game?
So the two biggest things I think stood out most to me about this game, because I think everybody should come into this, the expectation is don't expect this to be revolutionary compared to the other Far Cry's. It is Far Cry. It's going to remind you a lot of Far Cry 4 and Far Cry 3, so don't get that twisted. But it reminds me also of Far Cry 2, because the first big feature, which you guys know, is they announced the, what are they called? Guns for hire? So there's like NPCs that come with you, kind of like in Far Cry 2, how you had like a friend, a partner who would basically get you out of shit if you like died. And you know, that's what I liked about Far Cry 2. I liked how like when you died or you were about to die, everything would go slow down, slow motion. You'd be crawling like on second stand, and your teammate would come out of nowhere and he would like shoot at them and pull you away from the battle and try to save your life. That I liked. And so this is kind of like that in Far Cry 5, a little bit different though. Like these, instead of them like coming up at like scripted moments, these guys are like legit companions who will be with you the entire time. So the 3 we got to play was shit, I forgot their names. There's the what was the dog's name?
There's
Boulder.
all I remember is the standard white guy. There was a black chick who was a sniper, and there was a dog. And I picked the dog.
We forgot their names. We're sorry, forgive us. But all 3 of these play different plays. So they basically chosen for different play styles. So the dog is basically stealth. So people won't notice the dog, but you can tell the dog to go somewhere, to wait somewhere, to attack someone. And it's also, as you guys seen from the trailer, much like Elizabeth from BioShock, he can grab weapons and stuff and bring him to you. So
and
he's your stealth option.
And he's a good option because I don't know if the developer told you this. He told me this. He said, based off of the actions that you do, like your teammates will react to you a certain kind of way. So if you keep fucking with them, you never know if they'll keep following you or whatever. I was like, so he's like, I was like, bet. I was like, I'm gonna pick the dog because he don't talk back, and he's like, good selection.
Yeah.
So there is a relationship there's gonna be between you and your partner, basically.
Yeah. So there's that, and then the sniper rifles. There's this black chick who's like a sniper elite character, and she's really good at sniping. So she doesn't have.
I see what you did there.
Yeah, I see what I did there. So her job is basically you put her up in some place, and she's basically going to cover you. So you can go on the ground and start shooting it out with the ops, and she'll shoot them from like long range and cover you basically like when you're like really in trouble. So she's a good option when you need someone who's reliable. The other guy, which is basically a redneck. Is he a redneck?
Yeah, he's a redneck with a plane.
Guess what the redneck does, guys? He fires bombs. So my man's literally in an airplane and he literally drops bombs.
Call in airstrikes with him. That's great.
So he calls the airstrike. So he's straight up for your chaos type of person. So if you like going in and just causing chaos, he's gonna be your best bet. He'll just blow up parts of the thing. There's no destruction system, but he'll like blow up a lot of.
So they literally have a partner when I think about it for everyone. They have a destruction, someone in the middle, and then a stealth. Right.
So they give you a little option for everybody.
But I actually thought we were playing on PS4s, but I still thought
pros.
Were they pros?
Yeah, they were pros.
I thought the game looked gorgeous, even on PS4. Like I like the way Montana looks. Not the actual cities, because I don't like the country, like the way like the little towns, but the actual forest and the grass and stuff. It looked very lush and it looked nice. So it made me want to explore and shit.
Yeah, I'll say it's very What I will say is this game, because I was talking to the developer about it, and I've read some articles about it. This game's different in how you do things. Like, how do I explain it? The game is not like the previous Far Cry's where you go to point A, you go to point E, you do your quest, like that. Like go to your. It's not a waypoint game. It's not a game where follow the waypoint, go here, go here. Instead, it promotes exploration. So the whole game's design is more where it gives you this open world, and it's basically like you discover these quests. You discover, so it's kind of like Witcher in that aspect, where it's no longer like Fort telling you need to go here to do this main quest. Instead, there's these people that you saw in the trailer who are like you meet the girl who's the bartender in the trailers. You meet her in the demo, and she basically you find this town, and when you save them from the cultists, then she becomes an option. And she's like, yeah, they've been help us out by going here, there, But the thing is like it's like Skyrim, where it's the aspect of you don't have to do it in any order. It's literally like here's the open world, you got to liberate it, figure out how you want to do it, and that's I think were the best aspects of Far Cry. Like it was the idea of like here's this outpost, here's this location, you can choose
because
how you want to do it.
When I was riding around in the open field after I finished the demo, you can still explore the world.
Do whatever you want. Yeah.
I found like this river. I was driving past the river, and then I heard a scream. He was like, "Help! Help!" So then I go over there, and you find two cultist members dunking a dude's head in the water. Yeah, and they said it was a forced baptism or whatever. Yeah, so it's like stop that, and then he'll become part of your team and help. I thought that was cool.
Yeah, he had a quest too. He would be like, "Yo, help me!" But there's somebody there. And that's dynamic. The game doesn't tell you that you need to save him, and nor does it say that's a quest giver. You just see this action happening in the world, and you can choose if you want to interfere or not, which is really cool. It's basically like the game basically takes away the hand holding and the aspect of like
it allows you to be human.
Yeah, it allows you to be human and go where you want to. So if you've been wanting Far Cry to go that like Skyrim direction, where it's like once it lets you go after the tutorial, you choose what you want to do. I think you're gonna like Far Cry 5. I have a strong feeling you'll like it.
The actual core gameplay still felt like Far Cry very much.
Far Cry 4.
It was
4. Yeah.
Yeah, it was like you walked into a town, you scouted out all the different people, you mark them, take them out quietly, and liberate
Far Cry
the
formula is
town.
still here. They did not innovate any of the gameplay formula. If that's what you're expecting, that's not where the change is.
It felt like Far Cry, but the reason that I did enjoy it though is because I enjoyed the world. The world is full of character. There's funny characters.
Primal.
I remember I was like driving some like super redneck American truck with like it was like American flags painted all over it and shit. So it's like where it lacks innovation, it makes up for it in personality, and I'm cool with that. There's also a fishing mini game in the game, which goes back to what Ethos was saying, where you don't got to do the missions, you do whatever the fuck you want. There's ponds and lakes all over the place, and you literally just go up there and start fishing, and you can try to set records and shit.
Me and Siggy spent 30 minutes playing the fishing game. Like all we did was fish for 30
minutes. You could choose to save Hope County, or you literally could just be a redneck, basically.
Redneck simulator. That's what we're dubbing it. It's literally redneck simulator.
Yeah. Overall, I don't feel like this is a day one cop for me, but I enjoyed what I played. This is let's see what else comes out around the same time. I think he said it comes out in February something.
February.
Yeah, let's see what else comes out around in the month of February. If the month isn't too crowded, then I would pick it up because I did enjoy what I played, but I didn't enjoy it enough to say, let's say Dragon Ball Z Fighters comes out in the same month, I'm playing fighters over that. Like, yeah.
Right. There's a lot of other options I think I'd pick over, playing this game. But if there's nothing there that's happening, it's a boring month, then I'd pick it up. But yeah, like you said, I think the most interesting part, which we didn't get a lot about, was I'm curious to see where the story's going to go.
Right.
That's what I really want to know more about.
I want to see how interesting the characters are and how crazy this cult can actually get. And before we wrap this up, just to say, because I know a lot of people were bitching that this game is like racist and this, that, and the third. This game has nothing. This game has nothing to do with racism. It's strictly about mental health and the cult culture. It has nothing to do with race at all. For those of you that had that concern, so don't worry about that. It's just about crazy people. Other than that, if you guys enjoyed the video, please remember to hit the like button. Leave a comment, subscribe if you're new. If you're not new, consider subscribing to our Patreon. That's patreon.com/GI updates. We have all different type of rewards in line for those who choose to financially support us. There will be a link in the description box below. And other than that, you got anything else you want to say before we wrap this one up?
Stay enlightened, gamers.
Stay enlightened, gamers.